Hello, everyone. Patricia Calkins here. Welcome to the fourth week of Decoding Cultures. I would like to say that I have been really interested in hearing the kinds of things that you had to say this past week. I know that the things that we were doing were quite difficult because they seem so much different from the culture in the United States. For example, we talked about the difference between high and low context cultures, and I thought it was particularly nice when I was reading the Moodle forum that you had quite well understood the difference between low context and high context. The United States is one of the more low context cultures there are. That's why, for example, that if you go into a supermarket in New York and in New Orleans and in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and in San Diego, they basically are the same. You walk in towards the produce, and you have to go find the milk way across the store. There are just these rules that are followed in the culture for basically everything that you do. The second concept that we were talking about was the concept of face. I haven't had a chance yet to look at the quiz on this, but just a reminder that we do have a thing that is called face in Western culture also, but that is thought in Western culture to be something that it belongs to an individual, whereas in Eastern cultures that belongs to groups of people. I want to talk about next week, just starting up here today. It's going to be a busy week. You notice that we are going to be looking at two different kinds of ways of looking at intercultural communication. One is intercultural communication ethics. So, what are the ethical issues involved in intercultural communication? And the other is intercultural communicative competence, which brings in the idea of language. And right now, we are focusing on the idea of the role of language in culture. So we have two other kinds of topics here. One, language and thought, and the other, language and nationalism. I'm sorry that it's grayed out. It's because I haven't opened it for you yet, but hopefully you can read this on the screen. Some of you are having a little trouble keeping up with the deadlines. I'd like to urge you to do your best to keep up with the deadlines. Uh, Occasionally, some of these exercises close when the deadline is reached. So if there's a quiz, that quiz normally closes. Whereas in other times, there's a deadline, but it is still open after the time. If the thing is still open that you have missed doing, please go ahead and do it. I will still grade it, even if it's late. If you have missed a quiz, something that has closed at a certain point, please email me. And it's possible, although not always the case, but it's possible that I can open it for you so that you can take it by a time that we agree upon. I don't want you to have a lower grade simply because you didn't write to me. So at the bottom of this page, there is going to be a video that explains your first paper. Your first paper is coming up. It's going to be due 2 weeks from today. Um, this is actually the video that was from the last time I taught this course. I'm going to replace it. But down at the bottom, you'll see that here is the paper description. Here is the paper rubric. And then I'm going to give you important points of your paper. And if you want to do well on that paper, you really should read that assignment very carefully to see what it is that I'm looking for. So thanks very much for your hard work so far, and I'll be back in contact with you soon. Bye-bye.